Welcome hunters, this will be the first video in a series of Ranger gameplay that I'll be doing. We're going to learn the ins and outs. For those who like to play on Ranger, we're going to really get into the depths of herd management. One of the key things I want to point out is some of the best items I think, or gear, that will suit Ranger. So when it comes to the scope, we have two scopes that I think are pretty awesome for Ranger. Now, all the scopes that we have I think is awesome, but I feel like these two stand out. And that's the Overguard, which is really, really neat. The rectile is really nice. There's a red dot, so you can really aim precisely and get some really nice shots with that scope. We have the Bushnell, the Elite, my favorite also. Very good for like long range shooting, but very good to get close-ups on animals, see their antlers, any kind of detail, check out a herd. Really, really nice scope. When it comes to weapons, I'm selecting these weapons because I'm not trying to be at a disadvantage, because these weapons are not terrible weapons, but they're weapons where you have to use them very cautiously. And what I mean by that is the game has weapons that are very forgiving when it comes to shot placement. They're powerful, so they do a lot of damage. That doesn't mean you can't really mess up a shot when you use them, but you have more leverage. And when it comes to Ranger, we want realism. We want to have some kind of a challenge to our hunt. So the reason why I chose these weapons is because if you don't have good shot placement with them, because they have lower energy, you're not going to take down animals. So this sort of helps you focus more on good shot placement, good distance, because you can't just willy-nilly take long shots as you want. Now, if this is not your playstyle, then you're free to choose whatever weapon you want. But if you want a little bit of challenge, a little bit of thinking when you're actually trying to take down an animal, then you want to try one of these guns because it will test your skills. You have to be within a certain range to get the most out of them. So if you like the up close and personal kind of hunt, these will suit you. So we got the 243, which the game makes you buy in the tutorial. Very good gun, very overlooked. Again, you want to be within a 250 meter range, and you're going to be able to take down a lot of animals with this. We got a 7mm, my favorite. Awesome gun. Best all-round gun for me, personally. I can take down capes, bisons, you name it with this gun. The most versatile gun is Grandpa's old rifle, and I'll show you why. As you can see here, we have the free ammo and we have two other ammo that comes selectable, and they're both tier 5. Now naturally this is a tier 4 weapon, which means I can shoot anything from 3 all the way up to 6. Now with the addition of 5, now this covers all animals, like big game animals. So now I can take down capes with these now. Very versatile, so I can shoot from all the way from 3 all the way up to 6. Again, we'll have to adjust because of the power. It's not as much as the big tier 6 rifles, so we definitely have to adjust and make sure our distance is relative so we can get really the most out of this gun. And that's the key thing here, is that we have one of the most versatile weapons and the game gave it to us free. And it's usually overlooked as a very, beginner or noob gun, but it's powerful, it's great. So that's what we're going to be rocking today. And I hope this little diagram kind of helped you, because sometimes we don't know what to choose, what guns to go with, how this stuff works. And if you're new to the game, you're able to see now that even the starter gun can really take you all the way through the game. Again, it's up to you as to how you want to play Ranger. That's whatever makes it fun for you. I'm just showing you how I play, and you can probably build off of that, or change it directly, or change it all together. It's totally up to you. So we got our collars with us, in case we need to call some animals in. Eventually, I would like to go no collar, but that's for the future. Right, so we have our bow, which will test our skills, because we have to understand where to aim, distance. We don't have any sights. And then we have our most versatile gun. So we're ready to go, ready to enjoy some hunts. So it's pretty early in the morning. And we're definitely going to be heading down this way on the map. See what we can pick up. Usually we got some elk. We got some muleys. We got some whitetails. So we'll see what we can encounter here. So the main approach here for ranger is that we want to take our time. We don't have any helpers. So we got to listen for the clues of the animal. But any animal is around and we take it slow. This is not a game mood that you want to rush. You want to get the best out of ranger and you want to take your time and be very efficient with every herd that you encounter. Because if not, you're going to be spooking animals left, right, and center. I recommend that you play on a lower difficulty so you understand how things work with hunter sense. So then when you turn them off, it translates well. Or you could just go in blind. It's all up to you. But that is the main course of action here, is that we are taking our time. We're not rushing. We're taking everything slow. If you're starting fresh, then you're starting on the first day of the year. As we know, every 3 days equals a year. And the animals and they age when the new year turns. So you have 3 days to do your calling. You have 3 days to clean up your herds before you get some respawns. So the idea is that you want to take out bad genetics in hopes of getting better genetics. And that really is the game loop of Way of the Hunter, is that that's what you'll be doing. Very addictive when you really get into it. If it really clicks for you, and it's a fantastic way of hunting. It's the only game where you can actually age animals. So we got some whitetail and we have some elk. So this is where you start moving slower. You have to sort of anticipate and prepare for your approach. As soon as you hear the animals, start taking your time. And remember, unlike other games, you're not going to be making noise when you touch bushes. This is strictly proximity from you to the animal. So don't worry about making noise in the grass. This is the way the game was designed. It's a little strange in the sense of if you're used to like Call of the Wild or other games where the grass and stuff make noise. When you move to the grass here, you're not making any sound. It's a strictly proximity-based type of spooking system. Okay, seems like the animals are on the move. That's a lot of action happening there. I can hear them. So they just might be moving to a zone. Yeah, they're all very much alert. I didn't think that they would be this close. So I'm going to drop a call. See if we get a response here. Even if the animals are alert like this, usually if you place a call, you can kind of break that sort of, status that they're in. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I'm not sure if this deer is coming my way or not. Okay, so he stopped. Okay, he's right here. So I'm hoping that was a good shot. Yeah, we got him. Yeah, and he's going down right there. Yes, when you look at the blood, we know we got him real good. So now the question is, was he actually responding to our call or was he just kind of checking us out? Because what happens is the animals will start inspecting the hunter depending how close we are to them. So you got to be very careful with differentiating if an animal is actually curious or are they actually responding to your call. Okay, so this is an eating zone here, so maybe that's what they were doing. Nice, we got another herd over there. I'm not sure where the elk went. All right, let's see what we got. So about 9 meters out. Wow, we went through that shoulder blade. That's a great shot. Yeah, that's fantastic. So we got the left lung and the right. 21%. Beautiful. And that's what you're looking for. Anything under 50 is considered low genetics. Anything above 50, high. Now, there are different tiers, but we're not going to get into that right away. But just understand that that's what high and low fitness is. You're trying to remove anything 50 and below. Yeah, I'm really curious about these elks. Let me see if I can get some eyes on them. Usually they're in these woods. They got an eating zone over there, and for them to be all the way out here, I wonder what they're doing. Could be in transition. Yeah, so we're going to slow it down. We're going to take our time. Because we have no idea where they are, how close. We know we got our whitetails over here. So we don't want to disrupt them. We simply just want to get eyes on our elks. See if there's anything we can see. Okay, so we got a relatively small herd. Seems like we got like 2 bucks in there. 2 bulls. Yeah, they seem to be walking away, so they probably were eating and they're heading to another zone now. So considering we got some whitetails to our left here, yeah, we won't pursue them. So let's see what we got here. So we got a buck. Okay, we got a really nice guy there. Let's see if we can get a closer look. And that's why I recommend the scope, is because you could see here we're using it to sort of scout animals. And that's a really nice buck. You can tell by the antlers that that's a good genetic buck. This guy I'm not too sure about. Let's drop a call on him. See if we get any kind of response from them. Yeah, they don't seem interested just yet, but we're going to make 1 or 2 calls and see if we can kind of get their attention. But again, this is the gameplay where you really want to sit and observe your herds, take notes. I recommend you take some notes either in a notepad, whatever you have, kind of like what you're seeing. You know, what stands out to you. So it will make sort of your herd management a bit more easier. Maybe count how many males are in there. What stands out to you? Where did you find them? Or encounter them, you know? Take note of those little things. So when you're going around, you have little clues that you can follow. Little notes that you have made for yourself so you can track and really develop a formula of how you want to hunt. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's how you want to hunt, how you want to customize and play ranger. So far, we're not getting any kind of response here. We're going to move a little bit closer. So for callers to work, you got to be within 250 meters. So be aware of that. So sometimes if you feel as if the calls are not working, maybe you're out of range. Sometimes the animals are fairly high genetics, so they won't respond to your low call. So there are different factors. Yeah, that's the guy I was hoping to get, but there seems to be zero interest. Yeah, so I'm a little wary of trying to take that guy out since we're not getting any response, which doesn't necessarily mean that he's not low genetic, but yeah, he seems to have no interest. But when we look at the antlers, we can see that they're uneven, they're wonky. But that still is not a guarantee that he's low genetic. Okay, so I'm hearing some footsteps. I'm not sure if that's a deer coming in or not. Yeah, so since we only got like 2 bucks in this herd, I'm just going to leave them alone. It's not worth messing with that herd because, again, I could be doing a lot more damage. Yeah, so we're going to push off and see if we can follow our elks here. Okay, so I think the mule deers were around here, but we're just hearing them. I just didn't see them. So let's see if we can find these elk that we saw. Yeah, so they were just on the hill here when we saw them. It's just a matter of where did they go. Yeah, perfect. So we can hear them just up ahead here. Seems like they're just directly in front of us here. I kind of felt that they went around this mountain here, but it seems like they came across this way. Based on the call I was getting. So when you're hunting in these woods, very, very tricky. Visibility is pretty low. You gotta be careful how you're approaching animals, because you just don't know where they are. So you really want to take it slow, take your time, and really use all of your senses. Listen, see if they're walking, anything like that. Anything would help, any kind of feedback would help. So by taking it slow, that's what is going to allow you to kind of gather. So nothing yet. The question is, are they on the move or did they stop? Okay, so I thought they were more to the right. Seems like they're more this way. So I'm going to bring out my collar, and as I approach, just in case if they're moving. So that way, as we approach, if any one of them decides to come into the call, then that's going to work in our favor. It's a bit trickier because now if one is coming in, then they're walking to you now. So you cannot see that. So I wouldn't recommend this unless you're pretty experienced with getting a feel for that, but it's something you can try.
I see one coming. There he is.
Right behind these trees. And that's what I'm talking about. Because of our approach, we're able to see this develop. If you didn't take your time, we would have been spooking this guy. And these are the kind of hunts I enjoy. We're being rewarded for taking our time, stalking, using our collar, and it just all comes together beautifully. We're not rushing the situation, we're really just taking our time. So we're going to use old Grandpa's rifle on this bull. And we're going to be very patient, and we're going to get a really nice broadside on him. So in a situation like this, with this gun, I wouldn't recommend a frontal. But we're going to wait till he turns. And we're going to get him really nice broadside. You got to be quick sometimes.
Steady. Well, we messed that one up.
Now the question is, did we get a good shot? And I don't think we did because I don't think I changed my bullets. Yeah, that was a bad shot. And what I mean by that is we were still sitting on the tier 4 bullet. We didn't switch to the 5. And that just cost us an animal. How do you know it's a bad shot? Let me find the blood again. When you take a look at the blood, you see how it's kind of bumpy? That's the best way I can put it. It's not flat. Let me put my light on. You see how you can see the bumps in it? This animal is not worth tracking, from my experience. So when you use hunter sense, it might tell you that the animal survived. Now this could very well be an intestine shot. Again, we don't know that. But based on what we're seeing here, this animal survived. Plus the way he was running, if you saw him running, he pretty much survived. We could look for any kind of blood trail and kind of see where it leads, but for me, 9 times out of 10, that's a lost cause. And this is what I'm talking about when you allow your hunts to be organic. You're going to make mistakes, whether it's a bad shot, whether you didn't choose the right ammo. All these things you have to think about now. Because no longer do we have the UI, everything falls on you now. You have to be conscious of everything you do, every move you make. Everything matters. Because if we had the UI on, we would recognize that we're on the wrong ammo. We would have switched. But because we don't have the UI, again, all these things you have to think about. Sometimes you're in the heat, of stalking, and these things don't cross your mind. And you mess up. And this is the beauty of Ranger. You take the good with the bad, you win and you lose. And it's fantastic. So let me know what you guys think. Anything you'd like me to cover, because this will be a very long series. This is how we're going to be hunting. This is how I've always hunted, and this is how we're going to be hunting going forward. Just so that you can see how these things develop. Ranger is amazing, but again, if you don't have the heart for, messing up shots and sort of going through what we just went through, then it's maybe not for you. But if you like the challenge, it's fantastic. So that elk lived to see another day. We're going to make better choices next time, and we're going to take him down. So thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.